Before we deconstruct the terrifying invisible crisis currently destroying the wealth and upward mobility of millions of professionals worldwide, I have exactly three critical questions for you to answer in the comments below. Number one, are you sitting comfortably in your mid career role, completely blind to the fact that you haven't received a meaningful promotion or inflation beating raise in over 5 years? Number two, do you understand the mathematical penalty of the mid career stall when an average software developer bleeds over $43,000 in lost compounding wages while the market scales without them? Number three, in the hyper competitive tech and financial corridor of India and the UAE, are you waiting for your boss to hand you a promotion? Or are you aggressively pivoting your skill set into adjacent unautomatable vertical? Let me know your answer. For those who are new, I'm Dr. HR. I approach the global labor and capital market not with emotional comforting advice, but as a cold structural algorithmic systems. I hold a PhD in human resources, a master's from prestigious Tata Institute of Social Sciences TISS in Mumbai, and a bachelor's in computer engineering. Operating on the ground here in Dubai since 2010, consulting for tier 1 corporate entities, sovereign wealth funds, and apex tech founders across the Middle East and India. I monitor exactly how global talent acquires maximum leverage and how it systematically destroys its own value. The market does not reward you for merely showing up and doing your job. It rewards relentless compounding momentum. Almost 1 in 4 white collar worker is currently experiencing a hidden professional crisis. The mid career stall, according to the massive new empirical research from Burning Glass Institute and New York University School of Professional Studies, 24.2% of professionals roughly 10 to 15 years into their careers are completely trapped. They are steadily employed, collecting a paycheck, but their upward trajectory has mathematically flatlined. This is not a layoff. It is a slow, structural suffocation. You did everything society told you so. You got the degree, you built the experience, and you stayed loyal to the company. Yet, you have stopped moving forward. Before I completely dismantle the illusion of corporate safety, expose the exact mechanics of the India-UAE mid-career ceiling, and give you the precise architectural blueprint to reduce your stall risk by 86%, hit the subscribe button and press the notification bell. I post daily videos showing you exactly how to navigate the global labor and capital market using cold, hard engineering logic. You do not want to miss these execution protocols. Stop waiting on the plateau. Start engineering the pivot. Grab a notebook. It is time to audit your momentum. Phase 1, the invisible crisis, the 24.2% reality. We must first diagnose the exact debilitating economic illusion that has paralyzed a quarter of a global white-collar workforce. When we talk about economic distress, the media and the legacy HR department obsess over unemployment rates and massive tech layoffs. But unemployment is a visible metric. The far more lethal silent wealth destroyer is a mid-level career stall. The Burning Glass Institute and the NYU tracked the career histories of 1.3 million mid-career professionals over 25 years timeline. The data is absolute. 24.2% of these workers are stalled. A stall is explicitly defined as a period of at least 5 consecutive years with zero meaningful promotion and less than 5% real wage growth. If you are a 38-year-old manager in a Dubai free zone or a 42-year-old specialist in Bangalore, and you have held the exact same title with only minor cost living adjustments since 2021, you are not stable, you are stranded. Carlos Arlano, the lead education economist on the report, diagnosed the psychology perfectly. People start to feel trapped. Stalled workers are doing everything society asks them to do, yet somehow they stop moving forward. This crisis is invisible because you still have an access badge, a corporate laptop, and a desk. On the surface, the labor market looks healthy, but underneath the data, your career has stopped compounding. You have transformed from an accelerating corporate asset into a static piece of maintenance overhead. Phase 2, the mathematical penalty, the cost of stagnation. To understand the sheer urgency of this crisis, we must quantify the damage. What does it actually cost you to remain stuck in the place? We must execute the mathematical penalty calculation. The wage penalty for stalling is persistent and brutal. The researcher found that for the average stalled software developer, the financial penalty exceed $43,000 in lost baseline wages over a 15-year period in high leverage field like finance and tech, where experience and base salary compound multiplicatively. The penalty grows exponential over time. But the $43,000 is just the beginning of a hemorrhage. You're suffering from opportunity decay. When you stall, you do not just lose out on annual 10% raise. You miss out on a lucrative equity grant, the ESOPs, and the long-term retirement security that comes exclusively with senior advancement. You lose the cognitive exposure required to stay relevant in a hyper-automated 2026 economy. Stall rates vary drastically across the economic grid. Information technology, 20.7%, the lowest due to rapid skill churn. Finance and insurance, 26.6%. Manufacturing, 27%. Public administration, 30.2%. The highest due to rigid bureaucratic ladders. But here is the most terrifying telemetry from the NYU report. The stall is not a sudden, random event. It is a slow-moving architectural collapse. By the 10-year career mark, the warning signs are already flashing in red. Workers who ultimately stall out have already fallen behind their peers in the first decade, averaging just 1.5 internal promotions and 30% wage growth, compared to 1.9 promotions and 71% growth for operators who maintain their momentum. The stall does not happen at year 115. The structural decay begins at year 7. If you do not audit your velocity early, the concrete set around your feet. Phase 3. The structural flatline, why the ladder broke. Why is this happening? Why do highly educated, hard-working professionals suddenly hit an invisible concrete ceiling? We must blame the occupational structure and the death of a traditional corporate ladder. In the 1990s and early 2000s, the corporate hierarchies were shaped like a steep pyramid. There was always a middle management tier to promote an experienced individual contributor into. In 2026, organizations have violently flattened. Driven by efficiency mandate and the deployment of an autonomous AI agents, corporations have hollowed out the middle layer. The algorithms now does the routing, the scheduling, and the basic data synthesis that a mid-level manager used to do. The ladder has fundamentally shortened. There are fewer opportunities for the advancement than there were a generation ago. If you are an administrative worker or a basic financial analyst, you do not have a huge career ladder to climb. You hit the top of your narrow silo within 8 years, and then you persistently lag behind the market for the rest of your biological life. Furthermore, the quality of your credentials decays. The generalist MBA or the standard computer science degree you earned 15 years ago was a fantastic entry ticket. But without continuous market-aligned credentials upgrades, your historical degree provides zero upward propulsion in a market demanding AI prompt orchestration, cloud security, and predictive data analytics. Phase 4. The India-UAE regional friction. We must strictly apply this structural flatline to the macroeconomic realities of India-UAE talent corridor. The Indian IT and finance gridlock. India possesses the largest technical and corporate workforce on the planet. For the last 20 years, the default career path was to join a massive IT services firm, TCS, Infosys, or a prominent banking institution. Code or audit for 5 years and automatically become a project manager or senior analyst. Today, that specific path is a graveyard of stalled careers. Basic coding, generic software testing, and standard financial reporting are being automated by LLMs. And Indian professionals with 10 years of experience who only knows traditional Java or basic Excel modeling hits a massive wall. Their salary expectations are too high for a baseline execution, but their skill set is too outdated for elite architecture. To break the stall in India, you must execute the skill stacking. The Indian finance professionals escaping the stall are not just doing accounting. They're adding Python, SQL, and Power BI to their repertoire. They are moving from basic auditing to an AI-driven risk and fintech data analytics, commanding 25 to 50 lakh Indian rupee. If you do not stack high velocity tech skills onto your legacy domain knowledge, your Indian corporate career ends at 35. The UAE expat ceiling. Across the UAE mainland and the free zones of Dubai DIFC and Internet City, the market operates on an accelerated, ruthless logic. Expatriate professionals move on to Dubai in their late 20s or early 30s for a tax-free wealth acceleration. They secure a strong mid-level title. But by their early 40s, they experience the Dubai stall. The UAE economy is hyper-focused on future, the D33 agenda, sovereign AI, and global green infrastructure. If a mid-level expat marketing director or operation manager relies purely on their tenure and traditional Western management tactics, they hit an invisible ceiling. They become too expensive to retain, but they lack the cutting-edge, gold-collar technical skills to ascend the C-suite. And in Dubai, stalling is fatal. The high spatial friction of the region, exorbitant international schooling fee, inflation, real estate leases in the marina or the downtown continues to rise exponentially. If your UAE wage growth flatlines at 2% a year, the cost of living aggressively erodes your net wealth. You're working just to fund your rent, you're with zero forward momentum. Phase 5. The Sovereign Reskilling Protocol, escaping the trap. We have diagnosed the invisible crisis, calculated the $43,000 penalty, mapped the structural flattening, and decoded the regional friction. The final phase is your immediate execution blueprint. If you are stuck in the mid-career stall or if you are seeing the warning signs flashing at year 7, how do you mathematically break out? You must deploy the Sovereign Reskilling Protocol. You do not sit back and wait for the HR department to notice your hard work. You do not complain about the lack of promotion. You execute a lateral, high-velocity pivot. Step 1. The adjacent ladder pivot. Carlos Sarlanos from the Burning Glass Institute provides the exact instruction. Figure out what skills you need to get off the ladder that shortened on you and onto the next ladder over. You do not have to quit your industry and start from zero. You must targeted internal mobility. The NYU research produced a staggering statistics. Strategic reskilling into adjacent higher mobility roles can reduce your stall risk by up to 86%. For example, if you are a stalled traditional computer programmer, you do not just try to become a senior programmer. You transition your domain expertise into a data science or an AI orchestration role within the exact same company. You take your 10 years of a business context and apply it to a high-velocity, automatable vertical. Step 2. Liquidate generalist credentials. The generalist skill that got you the job will not get you out of the stall. Stop relying on your decade-old university degree. You must aggressively acquire high-quality, market-aligned, non-degree credentials. In the field of IT and finance, specific certifications like advanced cloud architecture, algorithmic trading, or cyber kinetic security functions as the immediate, cryptographically recognized markers of advancing expertise. They force the corporate algorithm to reevaluate your value score. Step 3. Engineer high visibility friction. Stalled workers are often highly efficient, reliable, and entirely invisible. You are doing your job perfectly, which means you are categorized as basic maintenance overhead. To break the stall, you must engineer high visibility friction. You must volunteer to lead the cross-department AI integration project. You must step in front of a whiteboard and solve a complex, unstructured corporate bottleneck that the executive board is terrified of. You must demonstrate that you possess the rare cross-domain leadership skills, persuasion, change management, and strategic synthesis that an automated system cannot replicate. Phase 6. The architect of momentum. Look closely at your current corporate trajectory. Look at the title on your email signature and compare it to a title you held in 2021. Look at your real inflation-adjusted wage growth over last 60 months. Are you compounding asset or are you a stranded professional standing on a broken ladder? Mid-career stall is a structural problem of the 2026 economy, but allowing yourself to remain trapped in it is a personal failure of agency. Employers are bleeding massive amounts of underutilized talent. They are missing out on the institutional knowledge but they will not save you. You must save yourself. Stop doing everything society politely asks you to do. Stop hoping loyalty translates to leverage. Audit your skills, identify the high velocity ladder, acquire the vertical technical certification, execute the pivot, and force the global labor market to pay you for your compounding momentum. Process the data, execute the strategy, and I will see you at the top.